Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. I think this is like my second live stream in 3 days. I apologize. I haven't really been consistent with the live streams. I've had a lot of things going on, but I just thought it'd be only right after a couple videos to really get your guys' opinions and thoughts on what went on in the 2022 NBA draft for the New York Knicks, because obviously a lot went on, and I don't think it's right just for me to discuss and talk about it because everyone has their own opinions. I know some people that are defending what Leon Rose is doing. I'm honestly not a huge fan of what Leon Rose is doing because we've kind of done this in the past, not this specific move, but we've freed up cap space. We put our whole offseason towards one or two players to try to get that big time fish and free up cap space. But this time, it's not a Kevin Durant. It's not a Kyrie Irving. He's a very solid player, but it's not a big fish we're going after here of Jalen Brunson. Obviously, trading Kemba to Detroit, we ended up packaging 4 second-round draft picks, and I believe we actually ended up packaging that first as well of Denver. Or some, I see some reports that the first rounder wasn't included, and then some reports it isn't. But I don't see 4 second-round picks being able to equal a lottery pick. Obviously, Detroit that ended up resulting in Detroit getting Jalen Duren. But yeah, we traded Kemba over to Detroit to buy him out. A lot went into this. A lot went into this move by the New York Knicks. So pretty much the New York Knicks plan this offseason is to go after Jalen Brunson. And my concern with this is if we don't get Jalen Brunson, what was literally the point of this? We're going to be getting into the protections of these draft picks. Not like we got unprotected draft picks. We got protected draft picks, which doesn't really guarantee a very high pick. When you take a look at 2023 Pistons, it's 1 through 18 protected. So if it falls out of the 18th pick, it's our pick. It won't. Detroit, I think they're going to be a little more competitive in games, but I don't see them winning a big majority of games. So most likely, yeah, we're not going to be having a high pick there. The 2023 Washington protected 1 through 14. I think it's capable of falling out of that 14th pick. I think they could be competitive with Beal and Porzingis. They got Johnny Davis. Well, I was extremely mad. You guys saw me on draft night. I was pissed when Johnny Davis didn't fall to the New York Knicks. A lot of people saying, don't worry, Johnny Davis will be there. Mathurin will be there. I hate to be the guy that said, I told you so, because when it comes to the New York Knicks, I want to be wrong in a sense that something positive happens. I never root for myself to be right, especially if it ends up in a negative outcome for the New York Knicks. Obviously, ended up in a negative outcome that Johnny Davis was picked freaking by the Washington Wizards 1 pick before us. We needed a gamer. We needed a mentally tough player, a potential 3 level scorer. I think his mechanics are good enough. Defense were keyed in on him. He's going to be a much better 3 point shooter, in my opinion, at the next level. We needed shot creators. We needed very good defensive players. And I thought we liked AJ Griffin. What's up with that? I thought we liked AJ Griffin. Tom Thibodeau notes his dad, assistant coach of the Toronto Raptors. And what's going on, everyone in the chat? I really appreciate you guys being here. Funky's in the chat. Andrew, Buzzer Beater, Devin. I know everyone has mixed emotions, or a lot of people may be on the same page with me. But yeah, I remember that when they were tweeting 2 things like we were getting Duran, but Shams obviously got that wrong. But I know some Knicks fans that are trying to make themselves feel better. I really do understand that. I'm not saying I'm a GM. I'm not saying I'm a head coach or anything like that. This is just my opinion. You do not have to agree with me. But I'm not going to be a cheerleader. Like, yes, I'm a fan of the Knicks, but I'm not going to believe every move the New York Knicks make is just going to lead us to a championship. I'm not going to believe that. These are just like my opinions. I'm not going to support every move the Knicks make. I hope it's the right move. I really do. But in the back of my head, I'm like, when are the Knicks going to build this thing right? When are we actually going to draft and develop players? There's some fans out there that are like, it's all right because the guys they liked weren't there at 11. That's all right. But they didn't like anyone in the first round. Yes, we got the future first round draft capital. We didn't trade back. We traded completely out. This team didn't make the playoffs. We still need high upside talent. That's why I wasn't even that mad in my reaction when we took Usman Jang, because Leon Rose has done a lot of settling in his tenure as a New York Knicks president of basketball operations. I was like, it's okay to take a risk. He's 6'10". He can handle the ball. And then I saw we freaking traded the pick. But yes, Knicks fans saying it's all right. We wouldn't have played whoever we drafted at 11 if it was Malachi Branham, Ty, whoever we went on to select with the 11th overall pick. That's not a good thing to have that mentality that, as a Knicks fan, that it's like, it's all right, we wouldn't have played them. That means we don't develop our talent. If you if that's going through your head, like, oh, we wouldn't have played him at like the 11th overall pick, then you don't have the right GM, or you don't have the right president of basketball operations. You don't have the right head coach, because the Knicks still need to develop. We don't. There's no future stars coming to the Knicks. I've said it over and over again. The Knicks need to build throughout the draft the right guy, be patient, put him in the position to be successful. And last night, did the Knicks put RJ in the position to be successful? Did they put Obi in the position to be successful? And we're talking about freeing up cap space for Brunson. We got Kemba off the books. I know that. But it's so funny. We still may not even have enough cap space for him, because we still need to get Noel off the books. We still need to get Burks off the books. Again, I'm not like, I don't know everything. I'm not pretending I know everything, but it just really makes no sense in my opinion. It really makes no sense. And if they were so, again, there are rumors with the whole Ivy thing, but why were they so hesitant to give up quickly for Ivy? I'm not. It wouldn't have happened because the Kings were so locked in on Keegan Murray, so it wouldn't have made sense for them to trade back. But why were they so hesitant to give up quickly if they're going after Brunson anyway? That means they don't value quickly that much. It's just crazy what's going on, and I actually wanted to share this. Let's see if I can share my screen here. Let me shift my camera over a little bit. And I saw this report that came out. Let's see. All right, we should at least know the plan, like after Leon Rose just made this move. The Knicks say they will not hold any news conference following tonight's draft or tomorrow. Leon Rose has not spoken. Actually, maybe he spoke in April. That's what. Yeah. But we should at least know the plan of what's going on. Yes, apparently it's Brunson and all that, but just like, come on, man. Come on, man. I'm not a fan of what's going on right now. Obviously, we went on to select Trevor Keels in the second round. Everything I hear is high energetic, shooting guard, small forward. He's a big guy, he plays hard, but he's not going to play. Everyone's saying we wouldn't have played the 11th overall pick. What makes you think we're going to play our second round pick? Like, there's already a log jam at the freaking shooting guard position. I don't know. People may call me crazy. I don't know. I'm lost right now as a New York Knicks fan. I really don't know what to say. Let me read some comments in the chat. Let me shift this over. All right, what's going on, brother? I feel pissed what the Knicks literally did. Trade that 11th pick in Kemba to get salary cap space. Yeah, we literally traded for cap space. What are we going to do when we strike out on Brunson? We're not getting Lillard. We're not getting Mitchell. Like, Zion's staying in New Orleans. Like, this was literally our plan B. This was literally our freaking plan B. Like, or plan C. I don't know how much they like Davis, but after they knew we couldn't get Ivy, they tried packing picks, still trying to get the Pistons to budge. They weren't budging. When you have a chance to have Ivy and Cunningham together, you just don't do any. You don't make any moves. Davis wasn't there. This was our plan C. I'm losing patience for Leon Rose. So I kind of already lost it. Jamal Murray? I don't think that's realistic. Jamal Murray, you think he would? I wish. I don't think that's happening. Yeah, and people are comparing the Thunder situation, like with their draft picks, like, oh, but when Sam Presti does it, it's okay. They play and develop their young guys. The Knicks still have Evan Fournier. They still have Burks. They still have Noel. They still have Julius Randle on this roster. Randle's still here. They're going to try to build a team with Brunson, Randle, and RJ. So they're still low-key building around Randle because Randle's still here. Oh, you mean DeJounte Murray? I thought you were talking about Jamal Murray. I want to be mad at that. I'm not sure the latest updates on that. I didn't do that much research. I looked at him a little bit after that. He's an energy guy, but we need freaking shot creators. And of course, right before that pick, it was like Bryce McGowan's. Like, think about this as well. The Knicks have the worst luck, even in the second round. The guys I wanted of like that were on the board. Jaden Hardy goes, and then freaking Bryce McGowan's goes right before us. Like only the freaking New York Knicks, man. Yeah, they came out for a reason. But after what happened last night, I don't see it happening. But I like what they did. I like Malachi Branham. The Warriors, Celtics, and Raptors are good organizations and built their team through the draft. This is what the Knicks should do. Yeah, exactly. It's what they should do. But Leon Rose, if this is a plan, he has a stupid plan. Oh, don't be sorry, man. I'm all over the place right now. I'm all over the place. I apologize, guys. That see, I hope it works out. Again, I'm not a GM or anything like that, but to me, it just doesn't seem smart. Um, like we're not a Brunson away of winning a championship. Like, this team's not ready for win now mode. Let's see. I'm not even gonna scout next year's prospects because knowing this organization, Tibbs is still gonna be here. Tibbs is still gonna be here. Yeah, the Nets are a mess. Um, what's going on, MH? Yeah, I still think it's disappointing. Mark Williams to the Hornets, I think that's perfect. I know they took Kai Jones. He ended up in the G League, obviously. He has a lot of developing to do, but Plumlee wasn't good enough for them. Mark Williams, I thought, was a fantastic pick. And Bryce McGowan, he has a lot of upside. He's going to take some time, but he has a lot of upside. Oh, yeah, we got him on that Exhibit 10 contract. He'll probably play with the Summer League. He's from the Dominican Republic. He's a guard. He's very smooth. He was actually someone that wasn't supposed to be undrafted. I want to touch base on him a little bit. Obviously, he took the G League. What's it called? Not the G League. The Overtime Elite. Like he went to that camp and all that, but he didn't play like up against competition like the G League Ignite. But he has talent. But I don't know. Well, I guess we'll get to see what he does in the summer league though. No, I can't even blame this on James Dolan because Leon Rose has control. I can't even blame James Dolan. James Dolan has stepped out of the way. Like Leon Rose is the one in control now. Like James Dolan hasn't been hands on in a while, actually. Yeah, Dyson Daniels was a great pick for the Pelicans. Yeah, Dyson Daniels would have been good. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. Yeah, I hate the Knicks too. What's going on with Alex? But I like Brunson, but how much does he move the needle? I'm not gonna be like completely pissed if we get him, but for those reports, what is it, 25 million dollars for Brunson? He's good, but he doesn't move the needle. For that much money, like I would have taken him on the cheap, like cheaper than that, but that's a lot of freaking money. Um, that's a lot. Why does Leon Rose look? I think it's just a panic thing. I think he's just gonna he's making a move to make a move. He's like, oh, this free agency is weak. We need a point guard. He's just so desperate because he knows we can't develop talent. Because Leon Rose is scared. He's scared. Just meditate. We've just like when you think the Knicks are heading in the right direction when we go to the playoffs, it's just like we thought we felt rock bottom, but let's see how it plans out. But or pans out. What's going on even best? Um, I like Ventura. Oh, you're Dominican. That's awesome, man. Three lefty dominant players too. And he's not a crazy knockdown shooter. Like he's a pretty good knockdown shooter. We would still need like shooters in the lineup. Just how hard is it to play and develop young players? Again, this isn't an OKC situation of trading for picks. OKC, they're building towards the future. We're collecting assets, but trying to win now. Like, what are we gonna do with those assets? Like, we're potentially not going to be picking next year. Like, I'm so lost right now. I understand we're trying to win now by getting Brunson, but it's not enough talent around these guys to win anything. But it could be either to get Jalen Brunson. That is who we're going after, Jalen Brunson. That's what the reports say. Or if they don't get Brunson, it could be Kyrie Irving, Mitchell. I don't want Brogdon. He's injury prone. Remember, well, good point. Remember the Knicks said if they strike out on Ivy, they're going after Brogdon. I'm calling it right now. The Knicks, this freaking organization, if we don't get Brunson, we're gonna freaking trade for Brogdon. That'll be the most Knicks thing ever. He's a good player, but he's injury prone as shit. And I don't think Mitchell's coming here. I don't. I think he's going to like Miami. Oh my gosh. But yeah, Kyrie is a headache, and I don't think he's coming here anyway. I think they just put his name out there for leverage. The Knicks just better have a plan. Maybe they're going after Beal. I have no idea. They just better have a plan. But it's like a gambling plan. There's no for sure thing. We still haven't even freed up enough cap space, man. Yeah, I can't even laugh though, because we're both a laughing stock right now. Of course, a sports fan. Um, man, DeJounte Murray's my only hope at this point. Yeah, I need to track that situation again. I know a lot was going on when it came to reports before draft night. But if you haven't already smashed that like button, I believe so. Because there's been some false reports like let me go to my notepad here. Because at first they were saying that we traded the Denver pick with the 3 or the 4 seconds to get that 13th pick that obviously we ended up trading to Detroit that ended up with Duran. We traded Kemba, freed up that. And then we got that 2025 Bucks pick, I believe. But again, when you look at the Pistons pick, it's 1 through 18 protected. It's it's not falling out of the top 18. It's not. Um Washington protected 1 through 14. That's maybe possible that it ends up 15 or 16. But it's just like if we don't package these, like we didn't like anyone at 11, so how are we gonna like someone at 15 or 16 next year? Like we may trade out of that too. Maybe because it's like I think the high schoolers start coming out next year, but that's even riskier when you really think about it. DeAndre Ayton's out there. I think it could happen. I don't see any reports about Ayton though, unless the Brunson thing's smoke. See, this is the thing with the Knicks though. Tyus Jones is a solid player, but I'm tired as a Knicks fan settling for plan B, plan C all the freaking time. Murray's in talks with the Hawks. Yeah, I've heard about that. The whole John Collins thing. Yeah, and they won't even be great. Like these are protected picks. Like Leon Rose hasn't done anything for me to believe in him. He's drafted some quality players later in the draft. But yeah, he drafted Obi, who looks like he has some talent, but the way the roster is constructed, he's not freaking putting him in the position to be successful. He likes quickly. Oh, let's bring in Brunson. Why can't we ever just build a longevity winner by playing the young guys consistently, playing them throughout their strengths? Like Tibbs isn't the guy. Like, it's so frustrating, man. So frustrating. Um, hey, no, what do you think about Chet playing with his twin Pokashevsky? I think Chet has a lot of talent. I know a lot of people say he's skinny, but he plays stronger than his listed weight. Those Kendrick Perkins comparisons, though, wow, just stop. He's comparing him like Porzingis and Giannis, but the Thin Tower is Chet and Poku. But yeah, they don't start Poku. We need a star on this team. I'm praying somebody on this team breaks out. Yeah, man. We can only pray. Like RJ needs to have a huge year. There's a lot of pressure on RJ this year because we didn't give him anyone to help him. I really don't think we're getting Brunson. I think Brunson's going back to Dallas. I don't even want to be negative, but I think that's happening. Like, what's so attractive about the Knicks? Would you rather go back to a team that just went to the Western Conference freaking Finals, play with one of the best players in the league of Luka Doncic, or play with Randall, like, and just you don't even know if you're going to the playoffs? Yo, what's going on, Jeffrey? How you doing, man? What are your thoughts on what happened last night? Let's just sign Frank Ntilikina and Kevin Knox off season, and our team will be complete. That's cap. No way, though. I want to see if Ward's tweeted anything though. Let me mute myself so I'm not too loud. Nope, nothing from Woj right now. Shea, Giddy, Dort, Baisley, Chet. That's pretty good starting five. Yeah, no state taxes either. Great point, Craig. Yeah, I just wouldn't understand it. The Knicks just took a huge risk, huge gamble. Oh my gosh. All we know as Knicks fans, we know all about the cap space. We know all about it. Yeah, well, Randall's still here too. Like, no one's gonna develop a Randall on this team. I'm rooting like Randall's a Nick. I'm rooting for him, but with his play style, lack of basketball IQ, you already thumbs down the fans. Like when that happens in New York, you're done. Devin Booker's reportedly been traded by Kendall Jenner for some time and space apart. My whole time being a Knicks fan, they were never a title contender. Same, never. How a lot of people saying yes, tanking sucks. Tanking doesn't always work, especially for the Knicks. We may not even get a top pick, but I'd literally rather. Again, I don't like tanking. I'm all about building a winning culture and all that, but this is building a winning culture. And to me, it's not really tanking if you're seeing what you get out of the young guys and you're seeing them progress throughout the season. That's just what your team looks like. It's not really tanking if that's just what your team looks like. I'd rather have the fourth pick than the 11th pick. You still get a really like even if we don't get the first pick, fourth, fifth pick, that's still very like that's still very good. When you're in the 11th overall, when you have the 11th overall pick, you're in no man's land. Especially when you can't develop. That shows also we kind of exposed our own organization. Oh, whoever we take here at 11, we're not going to take them because we can't develop shit. The Knicks had no confidence in taking anyone at 11 because they know they can't develop shit. Tom Thibodeau's probably so happy he's not going to have to play a rookie this year. Like, everyone thinks that's a positive. Oh, it's good that we didn't pick at 11 because we wouldn't have played the guy. Good organizations find minutes for players they pick and put them in the position to be successful. Winning teams even play their rookies. Kuminga was raw, but the Warriors still found ways to give him minutes. There's no excuses. You either make it work or you don't. I hope a sports fan. Gosh, Derek Fisher was bad. Yeah, we do that all the time, Michael. But it's weird because we actually played the young guys at the very end and we won, so I can't be down, man. But obviously, it resulted in this. Excuse me. Yeah, Randall's gonna be back, and it's gonna be a wash here, especially if we don't get Brunson too. If I'm RJ, I'm freaking requesting a trade. I'm getting the hell out of here. Like there's like me saying in my video, there's no plan. It's a stupid plan. It is. I would have literally stuck with Usman Jang. At least like we wouldn't have been settling and we're looking towards the future. Again, we probably wouldn't have developed him, but he's a high upside talent. We need that. Well, hopefully RJ gets to the level of one of those guys. But yeah, I hope he's loyal too. I don't think Mark Jackson ever getting a head coaching job again, and it's not because of coaching; it's because of other things I'm not gonna get into. Yeah, it depends if we get Brunson. I swear to God, if we hold on to Burks, let's say Burks ends up freaking starting. Oh my gosh. What do you mean RJ was a plan B? We had no choice but to take him. I mean, the third pick. I want to win, but I really wouldn't mind being the 13th seed or something. Like, yes, the 13th seed sucks, but if you get to see your young guys progress throughout the whole season and you get to see the young guys play, it's not a wash. It's not. Again, I'm not into tanking, but we want to see the young guys play and progress. And Brunson, again, I like him, but he doesn't move the needle like that. I'm not trying to be picky. He'd be an upgrade over anyone we would have from the past. But for that much money, he's going to be demanding up to like $100 million total. Like, holy, hell no, man. This dude was a backup a couple years ago. Yo, my man TMGF, what's going on? We have to move on from Burks. Can't watch that again. I agree, man. We have to move on from Burks. We do. But yeah, what are we going to do with those picks? If that's what it took to move Kemba, imagine Fournier and Randall. Fournier in the well, too. Everyone, like, I was one of those people. I was like, oh, these contracts may be flexible. Not the Fournier one, obviously, but I was like, oh, maybe the Burks one's pretty flexible. But no, it's obviously not flexible if he's still on the freaking books. If the Knicks have three 2023 protected first round picks, 2025 first rounder, 2023 first round pick, four second round picks from 2023 and 2024, could be either targeting someone at free agency. But what this free agency class sucks though. And do you mean like a big fish like Mitchell Beal? But like, and when you look at the picks, they're not. Again, let me. So the Bucks are going to be good. Giannis is probably going to be winning his third ring when it comes to the 2025 draft. Like, if it falls out of the top 18 for the Pistons pick, great, but it won't. The Pistons won't be good. They'll be competitive. Like, they'll be competitive in games. They won't win games. They'll probably win like 25, 30 games at most. But yeah, it's not going to really be anything. Washington, maybe that ends up with the 15th or 16th pick. We'll see what happens with Beal and Porzingis, but that's protected 1 through 14. Denver protected 1 through 14. I don't know, man. Oh yeah, but I'm talking about just like the realistic position. But yeah, I know what you mean. We could have Jaw, we could have Zion, but when it comes to the draft, yeah, we had the third pick. It was going to be kind of impossible to move up and get him. We saw IQ and Obi play. It was amazing. It was a whole different team. Apparently, they didn't think it was amazing. I feel bad for Obi. I feel bad for RJ. I feel bad for all the young players on this team. Um, I don't think that's Randall's value though, a star. This year, Knicks have to ride out the last year of Rose, Burks, Noel, and cancel the team option next offseason and figure out what to do with Fournier and Randall. Yep. Bro, deadass, how are these contracts so hard to move? They literally expire after this year if they turn down the team option. Maybe. It's frustrating, man. Dude, the Pistons rebuild like. Yeah, Troy Weaver took over last offseason, and he has freaking two future stars. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we don't know until Ivy plays, but I think he's a future star, and I think Cunningham is too. Like, how hard is it? How hard is it to play young guys? Just, oh my gosh. Yes, Andrew. No, he's not a point guard. He's a shooting guard, but he can't really shoot. He's a scrappy guy. He only shot like 31% from three. He's probably not going to play either. We always play this damn waiting game, and it's so pathetic. Pistons will be better than we think. We'll see, man. Yeah, man. Just when you think you hit rock bottom as a Knicks fan, like the worst case scenario, like what we thought was gonna be the worst. Like I thought the worst case scenario was, oh, Davis isn't there. We're gonna take like AJ Griffin. Then they do this shit. I don't think I've seen a team ever completely trade out of their lottery pick and never pick in the first round. I don't think I've ever seen a team do that. Tell me if a team has just completely traded out of their spot and never picked in the first round after supposed to be selecting in the lottery. Yeah, I'm still gonna be a Knicks fan, but this is tough. I'm lost. What's going on, Willie? How you doing? Yeah, I don't even care about summer league. There's no one to really look forward to watching. Nets and Knicks both. No, I honestly think Ivy and Cunningham are gonna be really good together. Like Cunningham's feel for the game is IQ with Ivy's athleticism. They have Sadiq Bey over there. Like the Pistons have some nice young players. They do. I like their future more than ours. I do. Um, I knew Ivy was a pipe dream, but just like this happening, they didn't value anyone like at all in this draft to not even get a first rounder in this draft. I understand getting the first rounders for the future, but no one in this draft. Those highly protected picks are going to be traded similar to Cam last season. Trying to look at this logically, if a second tier All Star becomes disgruntled, yeah, and how that Cam may not even be a Nick after this upcoming season because we don't play him and he hasn't proven to stay healthy in his career. They're trying to win now when they shouldn't be. Like obviously you should always be trying to win, but they're like putting all their money out there. Like, gosh, freaking, and we're gonna have to pay RJ too. All our money is gonna be towards Brunson, RJ, Randall, Fournier. Well, this is the risk when you hire someone that was never a GM, never a scout. He was a lawyer. He just has connections with players. I really don't think this guy knows much about basketball. I don't. If RJ becomes an All Star this upcoming season, would you be happy with the Knicks? Oh, of course, I'd be happy if RJ becomes an All Star. Oh yeah, we'll see Rokos. Don't even know why we drafted him. He may never come over. We'll see, man. They're definitely gonna be fun to watch. The Pistons, I'll say that. They need some excitement. I already knew before the draft started. Yeah, we weren't getting Ivy. But by the way, the Kings they screwed up again. The Kings screwed up again. They took Bagley ahead of Luca. They took Jimmer Fredette ahead of Klay Thompson. Now they're gonna be known for taking Keegan Murray's a good player, but you take Ivy, man. You take Ivy. Um, the Thunder. I'm not sure if they're gonna put Giddy at the one and then Shea at the two. But when it comes to point guards, I think because Giddy could play the point, Shea's capable of playing it, even though he's more of a two, in my opinion. But I don't know how they're gonna put together the starting lineup. But I know that they have Maladon as a backup point guard, Teo Maladon. Yeah, Kings always screw up, man. Like, I wouldn't mind Brunson, but that much money is ridiculous in my opinion. Like, we never give our young guys a shot. Like, I'm not saying Quickly would be like an all-star, but let me see what's going on Twitter here. Let's see. Oh, but that's John Montero and the thumbnail. The guy we picked up on the Exhibit 10. The Cowboys are way better than the Knicks. Cowboys went to the playoffs last year, and I hate saying that. I'm a Giants fan. Feel bad for De'Aaron Fox, to be honest. He needs to go to a team like the Knicks. I think he's staying there, though. I don't even know if the Knicks look at RJ as the face of the Knicks because they're trying to. They're not trying to move Randall if they're trying to get Brunson. They're trying to win now. So they might still think of Randall as the guy, sadly. This YouTube channel might be gone. I'll tell you that, Devin. Um, do you think we'll be a playoff team with Brunson? If Randall doesn't get his head out of his ass, no. It all comes down to Randall, and obviously RJ needs to take another step forward. So I'm going to say they have to prove it to me. That's an uncertainty right now. Trey Man, Anthony? Are you talking about him? What's going on, Fabian? How you doing? Yeah, now we're going to have to pay Mitch because we're going to take a freaking center. This freaking team, if they pay Brunson, stuck in mediocrity. Stuck in mediocrity. You, Chris. Oh, this is bad. I'm just like, all right, so the only type of optimism Knicks fans can bring up is like the draft picks, but I really don't like and the Brunson thing, but it's such a risk. Like, I'm not trying to tell people how to root for their teams, but how are some Knicks fans so optimistic about this and not upset? We continue to see this team not be built the right way for years. Like, we should know shit like this. My bad. We should know shit like this doesn't work out. Yeah, the picks aren't even that good. The highest pick may potentially be like the 15th, 16th pick. Probably, Chris. No, just a random question. I would like to say I'm okay at basketball. I want to say I'm fantastic. Yeah. Actually, I don't know if it can get worse than this. Actually, if we give Brunson a lot of money. See, I'll be happy with Brunson the player, but I still don't think he moves the needle like that, if you guys know what I mean. Like, he would improve our team, but I don't think we go to the playoffs. Um, they'll trade all 22 picks for Kyrie. Yeah, I would, Chris. Zion's staying, no doubt in my mind he's staying. He freaking made the freaking New Orleans Pelicans sneakers. I just feel bad for Obi right now, just thinking about it. That poor dude deserves a better situation. All right, I'll be real with the buzzer beater. That's awesome. That's awesome that Randall's in great shape. It means nothing to me if you don't have it up here. He doesn't have the basketball IQ. He's gonna be strong no matter what. This is what athletes should be doing though. They should be putting in the work. Credit to him. But does that better his basketball IQ? Does that better his decision making? No. A lot of us did, man. Yeah, I didn't even want to watch that, man. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say Brunson would be Alfred Payton 2.0. I wouldn't go that far, man. But let's look at the scouting report of Trevor Keels together. Trevor Keels. Um, he potentially may never play, but I guess just in case. Trevor Keels scouting report. Let's look at him a little more. I know he's an energy guy, but I want to see more. All right, Bleacher Report. Yeah, I thought we like quickly so much not include him in packages, but freaking we want to go after Brunson. Like, if we knew Randall was coming back, why is Obi still here? Like, there's no point. Oh yeah, I'll send you a link. Hold up, let me mute myself so you don't hear me typing. All right, I'll send you the link I made on Twitter. I'll send it to you on Twitter, bro. But we'll look at Trevon Keels together. I think they like Trey Man though. I made a video on Trey Man. Like, I like Trey Man a lot. Has anyone seen IQ's workouts this summer? He's definitely improved. As passive point guard, he also stops shooting that floater and finishes out the rim better. I hope quickly becomes a beast. I'm rooting for him. Seems like a great dude, hard worker. All right, MH. Let me send it. IQ's a winner. I think Grimes will take the next step. I'm interested to see how Grimes' role will be. I mean, now we have 4 first-round draft picks in a great 2023. But do you guys think they're utilizing them on the draft, like the players? Because the Tips is still here. Like, I don't even know what the deal is going to be with those rookies. So are we going to use it to trade up in the draft next year? Or try to trade them to get like a star? I just can't trust them right now. I'm so lost what's going on. But yeah, Mage, I DM'd you on Twitter, bro. I DM'd you on Twitter. Unless you made a new one. Or I could DM it to you on Instagram. Yeah, they're heavily protected, man. Alright, let's see if MH gets this. Alright, I sent it to you on Instagram, to MH. Knicks fans, some advice, jump ship. Y'all trying to figure out how to sink the Titanic. Till they sell this will. See, I can't even blame Dolan though right now in this situation. I know Dolan's the one making these hires, but right now, like Dolan's not involved. Dolan trusted freaking Leon Egghead Rose, and he has all this power for this. I don't know though. I want to know someone like I know everyone's on the same side with me right now. I haven't really seen an optimistic point of view yet. I've seen him on Twitter though. I just don't know how you could.
What's
What's
going
up?
on, Noah? How you doing?
What's up, MH? How you doing, man?
First
Outside
of
of the
all,
Knicks.
yeah, how's everybody doing today? I hope I don't want to be, I don't want to be, I would love to continue to down on the Knicks, which I'm probably going to do, but I hope everybody's having the general, like, just a good day. There are other things in basketball, obviously, that you guys still pursue, but still, this is what we want to do. Like, no, this is your dream. Like, this is my dream too. Like, I want to work in the industry, and we talk about the industry every day. Like, these guys are working making these big decisions, and we are just fans at the end of the day. Like we're fans. Not everybody's going to get into the business of sports, but we kind of try to put the pieces together. Like when we react the day of, we don't think about the underlying things. And I don't want to put positivity into the situation because it's very negative, but yeah, like I don't know. Like I think the biggest thing that I could put into this is that again, the pick we didn't draft a young player to waste their talent because we weren't going to use them anyway. Obviously,
But isn't that a bad thing? That
it's
just shows
horrible.
that
It's horrible.
shows you don't have your president, you don't have your head coach. Everyone's talking like this is a positive thing. Oh, we wouldn't have played the guy. We need to be playing young players. Like we need freaking talent, or we have talent, but we don't know how to utilize it. It's just a mess. It's just that we're stuck in such a bad position right now that some Knicks fans are just trying to find anything positive right now.
And
Or I'm
that's
not gonna
yeah.
actually let's wait for it to play out, but
No,
I
I'm
want
going to too, but you have to look at it kind of like okay, maybe they are putting confidence in the young players they have, but like how many of those young players start? RJ, Mish. If I don't know, first of all, I don't know how you can bring back. Well, the Knicks have enough cap space to bring in Mish back and to bring in Brunson, and that wouldn't even really pull you over, like put you over as like a team in the East. Like, let's say the Knicks want to compete with those other teams, the Heat, the 76ers. Like, just putting together, like, just getting Brunson in ain't gonna do nothing. Like, just like this time, yeah, all you're gonna have is for you're going to overpay Brunson in a few years. You're going to be like trying to get off of Brunson. Think about that. They're going to give Brunson what 25 million for maybe 4 years, and after the first two seasons, we're going to be like, damn, get this guy off the team. He's overpaid. Maybe his production dips. Maybe the situation isn't good enough. I'm looking at that's negative thinking, but like it can happen easily. Like if you bring in Brunson, you're gonna have three dominant lefty. They're all lefties, so they're all gonna want to drive to their dominant side. So they're all gonna want the same spots on the court. How are you gonna get all those three guys
dude,
even?
and,
You know,
and I don't even think we're trying to trade Randall. Everyone's saying trade Randall, but if you're trying to bring in Brunson, you're not trading Rand. You're
no,
trying to
you're not.
win now. You're
Although
trying to,
I think Brunson with RJ as a duo wouldn't be horrible,
but with
but with
Randall,
Randall, it
I
becomes
feel
more
bad
of
for
a
Obi. If I'm Obi, I'm requesting a trade. I'm getting the hell out of there
But
right
if you told me that this season, I would be way more comfortable if, again, if you didn't have Randall, it would kind of make sense. But still, Brunson wouldn't be as attracted to our team if we didn't have, and nothing gets, or I'm gonna give Randall this credit. He at least brings and it's kind of sad, but he does bring attraction to this team because he's a solid player, is he not? I mean, when he can put up the numbers, but he's not a winner, and maybe Brunson believes him. Maybe he's the missing piece that he feels could elevate us with RJ, him, and Randall. Maybe it could work out. I'm not going to say it can't, but on paper, I don't think it'd work out to have all those guys want to take up the same spots on the court. And you don't have a space for him big. And if you bring back Mish, yes, you still have defense, but you're losing out on the floor spacing because Mish is going to want the paint too. So let's see.
Yeah, man. If these picks were unprotected, this would have been a great draft, but the protections are terrible. Yeah, the most likely the highest pick we're gonna get. Again, crazier things have happened in the NBA, but that Pistons pick, it's like top 18 protected. I'm trying to think at the top of my head. Obviously, it's not gonna fall out of that. And then when you think of the Wizards pick, I don't know. The maybe that ends up being like the 15th, 16th pick. I know it's top 14 protected. Maybe Beal and Porzingis somehow get something going together, but the highest pick we may possibly get is 15, 16. But I want to know the logic behind this. Is this because the high schoolers are coming out next year? Like he's trying to get too cute here. Like, are we trying to move up next year? Because Leon Rose hasn't like shown anything for me to believe in it and believe in him. There's no one to trade for. Like Zion, I think he's staying in New Orleans. We're not getting Mitchell. I'm just completely lost right now. Like, and even if we trade up for someone next year, the way this team is constructed, I don't even know what's gonna happen right now. Like, I'm so lost. There's a direction, but I don't think it's a smart direction at
I think
all.
the direction is very like weird. It's abstract. It's not very like how you have art that's like abstract. You don't know what the hell's going on, but it's art.
Yeah.
That's what the Knicks look like right now. And nothing again. I understand they're trying to change, like they're trying to gain assets, but the assets can only get you I guess, so far until you need to use them. Just like OKC. I mean, I'm not gonna reward OKC like you're saying. Yeah, they do play the young players, but like, what has really OKC done with those assets besides play young players? Like, they need to win eventually. If they do win, then they're gonna look better. But they haven't won, so I can't really support OKC until they start winning. Although I understand their direction is young players. They have
They they
Diddy.
have a direction at least. At least they
That's the
have a
thing.
direction.
The Knicks are the direction is mediocre, if I want to be honest. We're going to be 500 team at best. We're going to be kind of looking at the 8, 7, playing spot. That's what our direction is. If they want to go in that direction, that's their choice. But I mean, we want to win. We want to compete for a championship in the next 5 years. Right now, I don't see us competing. You're going to be in the middle. Because again, I understand that the stars are believe me, but those stars don't just start out good all the time. Think about it. Some of these players develop gradually into like really good players. Like it's not always immediate, but you do need an immediate impact guys. Like now it's kind of more with the instant impact. You get drafted, and you're immediately going to change your team and your franchise. Just like guys like John Morant. You can name more guys, but that's just how it's been. So I feel like because we're trying our best to get like a guy who could impact us now, like they think, oh, that's going to be a win. Like, oh, Jalen Brunson, it should work out. But I don't know if it's. We'll see again. I want it to work out, but you're gambling a lot with going after Brunson and depending on the young guys you have to be exactly what you think. Like, I think this is the dream season. I don't think it's gonna happen because it would be very tough for it to happen. This is the dream season. We get back to that 4 or 5 seed. Uh, Whatever. Brunson is the perfect match. He's exactly what we need in the point guard. RJ takes that next step. He's established. Like that would be the dream. Randall is willing to pass. Like this is a lot to ask for, but
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
this is the dream season. Kind of like what we did a few years ago with that 4 seed. Nobody expected us to be good. The defense gets back on track. But the thing is, if you get Brunson, I know he's a able defender, but he's not like he's not a Tibbs defender. Let me say that. And that's the thing that they could run into trouble with that. Is Tibbs going to really love Brunson as his point guard because he is kind of undersized, but he's willing to give it his all on defense. I've seen Brunson compete defensively. He's smaller, but he can compete. And Tibbs, he really does depend on all of his guys to compete. I mean, that's how his defense is ran. And then the bench, I think Rose hopefully can stay healthy. That'd be the hope that Rose stays healthy going into the playoffs if they make the playoffs. quickly. I don't know what next step he could take because he's going to be coming off the bench.
Wait,
Obi, they're
wait,
not going to
what?
take.
Talk about quickly, real quick. I'm so confused what's going on with them. Like those reports that they were so hesitant to put him in deals, trades, and all that, and then I see we want Brunson. So they're valuing the hold on to Quick as a backup.
I'm gonna say this: if it was now, I don't know how the lineup will work, but if it was like Brunson, quickly, RJ, Randall, Miss, then but Fournier's in the way. You're gonna play Fournier. I don't think they're getting rid of him. I sadly don't think we're getting rid of him. But if we did get
That's
rid of him, that would free up money. But I don't know what team is gonna take 17, was it 17, some 20 mil. And I don't think the contract is horrible, but because look at all the other guys we gotta pay. Like you gotta pay RJ. Randall's already getting paid. Miss wants to get paid. So you have to pay all these guys, but you haven't proven anything in terms of winning, one season you can point to, and that was not last season. It was the season before that. So
yeah, and I can't even compare the Thunder situation. I know a lot of people on Twitter are comparing the Thunder situation like, oh, Sam Presti gets praised for getting these future first round draft picks, but
no, I'm not
Leon
praising
Rose
them
is
until
getting
they
shit.
win. Yeah, they have to.
Oh, I know, but the Thunder at least have a direction with it. Like they're playing their young guys. They're like, let's develop them. Hopefully, they become a big focal part of this team. But it's like with the Knicks, we're getting these assets, trading them. Like at
You
some
know,
point,
it reminds me of a Hinkie when 76ers rushed the process. That's what it feels like. It's just like
what the
yeah.
Thunder are doing.
No, what the 76ers did before they when they got Embiid, Simmons, they were
I
awful.
know, but you're saying like that's what the Thunder are looking at.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to
Okay.
like. They're trying to get those two guys who can like blossom. That's why they're taking all these lengthy, like high potential unknowns. Like what was
All
his
right,
name? Yeah, like
all right. I'll pull it up, Michael. Check Jeremy Cohen Twitter. He makes the situation look the most optimistic. All
no,
right,
I,
let me pull
I
it.
I listened to him. He's from Knicks film school. You know him? He's the
Yeah,
he talks with
the redhead dude.
yeah. He is very optimistic. And he kind of made it a little bit easier on me, but still like it's just disappointing. You don't want to play the 11th pick because you think guys ahead of him are better than him. Imagine the confidence that you're taking away from that young player to say, you know what, you're not going to play because you're not better than these guys, but you just got drafted. So how are you going to know? So
Yeah, let's see what he said here. Uh, Jeremy Cohen. All right, is this the one? Assume the Knicks signed Brunson. Wait, let me tap on this. Assume the Knicks signed Brunson. New York could work with the Mavs to turn it into a sign and trade, giving Dallas a giant TP. What's he mean there? Trade player exception. Dallas would have to send assets in return if Dallas were to send their 2028 second and 2029 second. The Knicks would technically use 2 seconds, not four. I don't know if that's that optimistic, honestly. Just like we gave up two last second rounders. I don't value the second rounders like a lot of people do, honestly. Um, but yep. All right, let's see what else. If you guys don't get Brunson, Rose needs to be fired. It's definitely risky, man. Because if we don't get Brunson, we better be playing the young guys. If we don't play the young guys, then everyone should be gone. Raptors fan here. I feel bad for y'all wasting so much time for nothing. Yeah, man. I made a bunch of videos on draft prospects just for them to not even draft one of the players I talked about or any players at all. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I'll probably go live for like another 10 minutes. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I don't think he's worth 25 million either. If we get him, obviously I'm rooting for him, but I'm not a huge Brunson fan. Well, I like him. I don't love Brunson. You think the Grizzlies will win the 2023 title? I personally don't think so. I think they need another star. Yeah, Jaden Hardy fell a lot. Ty fell a lot. Yeah, Kai Soto didn't get drafted. I wasn't that high on Kai Soto. Did he even get picked up? Oh yeah, let's look at the. I did say I was gonna look at that. Oh, what's up, MH?
Yeah, I wanted to make a I was about to make a point, but I totally forgot. Like it was about
Wait,
something about,
did you
yeah,
drop out? Did you
yeah,
drop out?
yeah, I dropped that. That was my bad.
Okay, okay,
But I was
okay.
gonna
You're all good.
say, I think what the Knicks are trying to do, they're just waiting for one of these guys on the roster to like blossom. It may be RJ. Hell, it may even be Cam. They may be like, okay, let's give one of these guys enough driving force so that if they show out, they're just really hoping that one of these young guys, like, just, I think that's the, I would think that would be the plan. They're just, but the thing is, it's hard to have one of these guys blossom when they're only getting so many minutes to consistently blossom, you know? So if Quigley had a stretch of like 10 games where he's averaging like 20 points off the bench behind Brunson, like that's going to force a lot of people to think, man, maybe Quigley should be started. And then that forces like, because like that could happen. You could easily see one of those bench guys, like if it's not just veterans off the bench, like we're going to expect Rose Quickly. Like this is right now what's projected to be if we get Brunson. You get Brunson, you have RJ, Fournier still in the lineup, or Randall, and maybe you bring back Mitch. Your bench is going to
Oh,
look very similar. Rose, Quickly, Burks, and that very. I mean, that means Grimes ain't going to get no minutes. And then I guess Obi still, and then your center's probably I guess Jericho Sims. I think Sims proved a lot last season to be the backup center, which is fine. You can have a guy like Jericho Sims there, but where does Cam fit? Where does Grimes fit? They're not going to get any minutes.
I think not Kimes. Cam's future is expiring in New York. I don't really think there's much of a plan for him.
I mean,
We'll,
and he got some talent, but obviously we didn't see any. I mean, I know he was hurt, but like even when he was healthy, like it was tough to gauge what exactly he can provide because he's going to get hurt or he's just not going to get the minutes. He's not getting enough starts from Thibodeau. But I mean, that's I think that's what pains me. I can't believe Grimes is going to be third stringing. He's going to start the year third stringer. Grimes should be in the rotation somehow. He deserves to be in the
we'll
rotation.
we'll see what happens. Yeah, I hope Burks is gone. Who's Montero? Oh, he's someone we picked up on at Exhibit 10. He was supposed to be drafted. He's from the Dominican Republic. I've seen a little bit of him. He played for Overtime Elite, but yeah, he's a smooth point guard. But I just think we'll see what he does in the summer league. And obviously, we drafted Trevor Keel, so let's look at him a little bit from Report. They're gonna have his pro comparison. Let's see what they say here. So he's shooting guard slash small forward, 6'3". They're comparing him to Dort, so he's probably a very good defender. It says Keel's athletic and self-creation limitations are well documented. Yeah, I saw he only shot like 31% from three and didn't shoot well from the field, but he's 6'3", but he's a big guy, 224 pounds. Pick and roll skills, shooting potential. We've heard that a lot, and defensive tools and toughness. So he's only 18 years old. He's a big-bodied combo guard who was a key part of Duke's run to the Final Four. He averaged 11.5 points, 3.4 rebounds, 2.7 assists, and 1.2 steals. They're showing the active roster. Gosh, look at these contracts.
Yeah,
Kemba's obviously not there anymore.
Fournier.
Yeah, they didn't. This wasn't a scouting report. Bleacher Report taking L's as usual.
Trevor Keels. I mean, I mean,
He's not gonna play.
he's probably gonna be in the G League. He'll get some time. Maybe he shows a little bit. Like I don't want people getting excited. I mean, you can be excited all you want, but it's another second. Like he could probably just be another McBride. And I mean, people really think McBride deserves time, but McBride ain't going to be in no rotation to start the season. So it's like it's even if you wanted to see something like progressive in terms of young players, you're not because that's not the team we are.
Duran's a center though. Click. Knicks probably traded Duran because they want to keep Obi and get him more minutes. Yeah, the Pistons crushed the draft though. They got Ivy and Duran. They were both their guys. But I honestly did like Duran. But yeah, someone brought up the Spurs draft. Yeah, they took Jeremy Sohan,
I
and
like their
even
draft. They took Sohan and did they take
they
Brand?
got Malik. They took Malachi too, so they got
That,
a good offensive player and good defensive player.
I mean, they at least, I mean, the Spurs, they're going to find a way to turn one of these guys into solid. Like, that's the thing. You know, from that franchise, at the worst, they'll be like in the rotation, potentially growing. Because again, young guys, this is the thing with this draft. People think it's just young guys. It's more than that. These guys develop and they get older and they become established. Like, that's why it's so important to build through the draft. Because if you depend so much on free agency, like, think about it. Brunson, I don't know how old Brunson is. Is Brunson like 20, 26, 27? Maybe 25. I don't know.
Let's see. He's 25.
So he's 25. So maybe it is a good gamble because you're kind of getting him throughout his quote unquote prime years. But then if he, like, this is the big risk you run with that, is like he's not getting any, like, you kind of like, this is the thing with the NBA now. You gotta recognize, like, it is a young driven league. Like, it is a youth, like, if you're prime in your, like, right now, Brunson, he has to take, I guess, a step in being a lead guard on a winning team. If he can do that with the Knicks, then yeah, you sign him if you think he can do that. But is it worth this continually pushing back, getting new pieces because you want to play Alec Burks 15 minutes a game? You know what I mean? Like, and nothing against
Yeah,
those veterans. And I'm not saying we need to be all young players, but there's a way that you have to have an even mix. You know, like, Derrick Rose deserves rotation minutes. Like, he should stay on the team. He plays well in his minutes. He should be the veteran you keep. Uh, you need. I mean, I would have a back. I would probably get a center who's a veteran, but you need space. Like, floor spacing. Like, the Knicks are not diverse enough to have two centers who are essentially the same type of player. Like Sims and Mitch, they kind of play the same. They do play the same play style. Defensive, dunk the ball. They don't take any mid range shots at all. Not even threes. Obviously, we know that. So it's like, where does, like, do the Knicks just want the same Thibodeau ran group, or do they want to try something new and see if it maybe works? Who knows if it'll work? If you never try, then you'll never know. It's just like in life. If you never apply for jobs, you'll never get a job. That's just the fact of it. It's always, you have to go and try it to see what you got. So I mean,
yeah,
we'll see what the Knicks do again. I'm trying to be optimistic as I can, but obviously after last night, it's just disappointing. You want to see a new young player be. I mean, again, Keels. It's good that his dream is being fulfilled, but he's a second round pick. Normally, second round picks typically don't even really stay in the league for that long. So, and we know the Knicks obviously don't develop. So it's like, good that he's fulfilling his dream. That's the thing you guys say off top. But like, for our team as a whole, there has to be more done with these drafts than just trading for assets who you don't know what these assets are going to be moved for. Now, if they move and get some crazy star 2 years from now, then maybe it was all worth it. But right now, I can't say it's worth it because we're not winning. And that's the number one thing you got to do. Win. It's the whole name of the game. What's his name said? Jets coach. You play to win. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to play for a guy who can help them win. But is it going to be for a championship? I don't think so. Definitely don't.
yeah, yeah, man. I agree with you. So John says every team in the NBA got better except for us, especially if we don't get Brunson. Yeah, it does seem like a lot of NBA teams are getting better, even the teams that have been really bad. Yeah, they're getting young talent, or they're at least projected to be better because obviously we're really high on these prospects, but we won't know until they actually play NBA games. But my man, Steelers, Knicks fan, what's going on, man? I don't know what this front office is doing. They got too many cooks in the kitchen. If we don't play the young guys this year, dot dot dot. Especially if we don't get Brunson, we better play the young guys. This will be the same roster last year with Burks playing point guard. Yeah, we got to get Burks out of here. Willie says my starting five. My starting five: fire Tibbs, fire Tibbs, fire Tibbs, fire Tibbs, fire Tibbs.
But the thing is, I know, what's funny? It just feels like Tibbs was the one who ran this draft, doesn't it? Like, it doesn't feel like it was somebody
I
else.
don't know. I
You
I
know?
don't. But I know Tibbs is happy as shit though. He doesn't have to play a rookie this year. I know
Exactly.
that.
He's probably the biggest winner of the draft. Talk about the story. Nah, Thibodeau's the big winner. He don't get to play he don't gotta tolerate with the screaming of Knicks fans or even the guys higher up, because Leon made a bold move in taking Obi because he knew that Tibbs wasn't going to play Obi. But he saw something in Obi. I think, like, I know Leon people thought that, oh, he only made the pick because it was a flashy pick. Oh, Obi, like he doesn't see talent. But I think he saw something enough to pick him and to let and tell Tibbs, yo, you gotta play this guy. And clearly he wanted to stick with Randall. Randall had the amazing season he had, and we're all like, okay, maybe he needed that motivation. But it's not motivation he still has, because if Randall was still playing like his all-star self, then I don't know. Like, I don't know if we talk about it would be way more comfortable if the Knicks were back-to-back seasons fourth seed and they maybe got past the first round. Then you'd be like, okay, they're trying to get to the Eastern Conference. Like, it takes steps. It's all
Yeah.
about steps. You don't go from
And
again.
we just rush it. We just rush it. Oh, the Knicks are like, oh, we made the playoffs once. So then they trick themselves into thinking they're better than they really are. Like I'll say, Randall, his season was the best but worst thing to happen to the Knicks because it tricked the Knicks into thinking they were further ahead than they really were. We went away from the development. They were like, let's sign Fournier. But I thought the Knicks were finally realizing that, oh, we're far away. And then I see we're trying to get Brunson. I'm like, nope, this organization is freaking delusional. They're skipping steps. Like you said, you have to follow these steps, but the Knicks just they don't know how to build it right, man. And someone asked, do you believe that the Knicks need to follow OKC's rebuild model? I need to see OKC be successful before we
Exactly.
follow that.
Again,
Like,
I
yeah,
don't hate it, but I think they need
I'll
to.
be
If
right back.
they, yeah, I'll say to answer that, if they start winning, then it'll make sense for them. Like if they, because again, if you don't win, then what's the point of collecting all these assets at the end of the day? It's like the Knicks, they're kind of doing this. They're trying to do the same thing now. Use for assets that are going to go to nothing. So it's tough. Yeah, like I'm just saying my point. Like I want to see them win. They have to win in order for all this to make sense. Like they have to guys develop into more than just potential, because think about that. Like potential is thrown around so much in the sports. Everybody has potential to be good players, but at the end of the day, what do they show on the court that makes them good potential players? Because after a while, you can't really start talking about potential because it's kind of faded off. And that's what OKC is kind of looking like. But they could prove me wrong. They could have a good season next year. Alexander could take a nice step. I mean, Giddy, maybe he takes another step, and they have some cool pieces, but at the end of the day, they gotta win. They gotta win.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Yeah, I heard you a little bit because I had my AirPods in when I was gonna get the charger. But Shane says 25 years of mismanagement and fans still crying. We lost nothing. We lost nothing. We kind of did lose. Well, we didn't pick shit. So
No deal. Why make a huge mistake to please the fans? I know they're not strong. Like at the end of the day, it's not a fan-run organization. I get that. I'm a fan at the end of the day, and I'm passionate about my team. But like, you you can't avoid talking about like you want to see a young player in the first
wait,
round.
wait, wait,
Wow.
wait. This is it. Post from the Knicks. Let me check. Leon made a statement apparently.
Oh, let's see his cookie cutter statement to ensure the fans promise. Come on,
Bro,
let's
he
see.
wait. Let me see. It just posted by the Knicks. I wonder if it's on their Twitter too.
It
Wait,
could be
let
on
me.
their Instagram. Who knows?
Let's see.
I mean, Twitter would make sense.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's
The
see.
most toxic place in the world, Twitter. Yes.
Yeah, Twitter is very toxic.
And again, I
Oh.
understand some fans. There could be some fans that talk sense on Twitter, but like half the time,
Okay. Yeah, he did say something. I'm gonna share my screen right now.
yeah, really, yeah, I want to hear it. It's probably gonna be nothing important. Like it probably just.
It's gonna be like generic as shit. So here's some.
Thank you, Knicks fans, for supporting the team.
So Leon's too afraid to confront the media face to face. So he's like, let me just put something on the Instagram. So all right. Last night we made three trades involving. It's probably some bullshit. We made three trades involving draft picks, which resulted in increased financial flexibility. Blah blah blah, and additional draft capital moving forward. We now have a total of 22. This man's gonna say some bullshit. 11 in the first round and 11 in the second round over the next 7 years. We have the ability to be active in free agency as well as in the trade market. Our focus will remain to be strategic and thoughtful in our team building, doing it the right way while feeding off the momentum from the end of and
What?
prioritize player develop. There is no player development.
Maybe veteran development, but not a young player development. He said player development. Give him credit. He said player. He didn't say young player.
If I have to hear active and free agency, free up, flexible. Oh my
You know what
gosh,
this sounds like, Noah? Steve Mills.
dude! I literally said last night, Steve Mills wouldn't have done that shit last night. What?
No, Steve Mills would have taken Dang because he was an unknown prospect. Because that's what he did. I mean, I don't
Oh
know.
my gosh! I'm just reading over this again. Like this picks me not, bro. I'm just gonna say this right now. Just make a freaking move, man. If it's Brunson, get freaking Brunson. But if you don't get Brunson, you're a clown, dude. You're just a clown. I don't even like Brunson that much. But if you do all this for Brunson and we don't even get him, you're just a clown. Yeah, everyone's laughing. He's just freaking everyone's dying laughing. Can't believe this shit. Those 3 first-round picks may very well end up being nothing. I feel like he doesn't even look at the protections or if they're unprotected. He's just like, oh, they're picks, so let's get them. Like I
That's the
literally just
sad thing. Like, I really hope he's looking at it from like a good mindset. Because again, we have to look at like I always look at the guy like the person's background. Like Leon, again, I said this in Big Blue in the Bronx stream with we both were talking in there, but his background, Leon Rose, he used to be a lawyer. He
that's
also
what I said in
he
the
was an
stream. I said,
agent.
yeah.
He was an agent, so obviously he has good connections. But how much good connections? You're telling me he doesn't? His good connections gets him Jalen Brunson, and I'm not hating Jalen Brunson, but Jalen Brunson, that's who you want to sell out $25 million to when you have to develop other players on the team to improve your team. It's not just about free agency. Like it's very Steve Mills esque, and I don't approve of it, but I'm going to support it. I'm a fan at the end of the day, but like it makes
Same.
me really want to like because I want to get into a career and I would love to be in his position. That's a dream of mine. Like that's what I would love to do. So if I was ever in that position, obviously I wouldn't be thinking like he's thinking, but obviously it takes a different breed to be obviously in that office to make those big decisions. So he clearly is trying to make a big play for Brunson and hoping that it could amount to wins, and then we can get back to the four again. That's the expectation, 4 or 5 seed. Tomatoes. Oh
Oh,
yeah,
it's
for
a,
Leon, of course.
for Leon. For
I mean,
Leon.
I wouldn't mind the tomatoes either. I'm trying to talk some sense, but yeah, we
We
needed
didn't
to
li- we
shine.
Dude, I don't think I've ever like we didn't we had freaking Steve Mills sign Randall. They're kind of the same. Actually, maybe
But think about it, the Randall signing at least made sense. He was still young at the time. I mean, I'm not. I mean, obviously that first year was horrendous, and last season was horrendous. But they took the gamble on Randall. No,
I actually like that backup plan. All right, now maybe like the freaking Ellington and all that, like a bunch of the other players was unnecessary, but we actually got out of their
they
contracts fast.
probably should have taken a gamble more. Like I know, you know why they went for those bets because the year before that they had Hazonia and Von Lane. Those guys were still like reclamation projects. You remember, obviously, that wasn't that long ago. Hazonia, like we were like, oh, Mario Hazonia is gonna have a
Moody,
breakout
yeah,
season. But that's the
yeah.
thing. They clearly don't want to draft their own and respect their own. So they're trying to look outside the organization and hope something sticks. That's why they traded. I mean, Knox wasn't good for us, but they traded for Cam, hoping Cam could be a spark, but he wasn't a spark. So they're just relying on all these other teams to develop players for them. Think about that. No, it's disappointing. You can't develop your own, so you have to go for Dallas's develop. Like think about it. Dallas took him with what the late first
See, wait, I'm gonna read this again though. Feeding off the momentum from the end of
last
last season.
season.
That doesn't do what momentum? Like, yeah, we won like our last game when the Raptors weren't playing their starters. Like, they're talking about building off momentum. Those young guys were playing. For the start of the season, the young guys aren't going to be playing, so there's not going to be any momentum.
Unless
It's going to be,
he clearly tells
bro,
Thibodeau,
this
yo, you're going to play. You know what? I think the best situation, it's not going to happen because Knicks are going to play veterans, but the best situation would be you get Brunson. Okay, that's the guy you prize. You get him. You quickly will start with Brunson. RJ will have to be the wing. Randall's still going to be here. I know people are going to hate on that, but Randall's still going to be there. Miss, you somehow bring Miss back. But the bench then consists of some young pieces playing off there. So Obi, but that's the thing. Is that really even the feeding off the energy? Because think about it,
it's
Randall
not.
didn't Randall shit like the last 5 games, and that's why
Yeah, he
Obi
was
had the
hurt.
game. So like think about that. Randall's gonna play, so Obi's still not gonna get his sign unless you start quickly with Brunson. But Fournier, I mean, I doubt Fournier 17 mil is going to come off the bench. And I think they should try that because I do think Fournier is a bench piece at this point in his career. He's not a starting level player. Not like what he used to be in Orlando. Not anymore. But I don't see them doing that. Quickly has to, you know what Quickly has to do? Quickly really has to be, he has to be averaging like 20, 25 off the bench, something crazy just to get Thibodeau to make that move. And I think if Quickly doesn't do that, then the Knicks are going to be in the same position they were last year, in the beginning of last year, the first half of last season. They'll be looking with these veterans and they'll trying to be like winning and they'll lose games and they'll lose the same games they lost last season where they're competing but they didn't have a closer because it's not the offense is a mess. Again, the defense got to improve too, man. The defense has to improve. It can't just
We're
be blaming Kimball Walker and Fournier. Those guys definitely got the short end of the stick because they weren't great defenders. But you cannot blame just two guys. You have to have a cohesive unit to be a good team, and that's the thing with them.
Yeah, we'll see how that player development goes. Like I'm sticking to this. If we don't develop our young guys, like Leon should be fired. I don't think I've ever seen another team make such a stupid decision with the first round pick. I've never seen a team. I've seen teams trade back, but I've never seen a team completely trade out. How do you get future first round draft picks and not one of them are from the draft like you're in? Like how do you not just get one for like how do you not like any of the prospects at all? Do they not watch film on any of these players? Like I don't think Leon Rose watches basketball. I don't. I think he only watches the Knicks games. RJ would have developed into a borderline all-star by now on 15 other teams.
I think he
Very,
will.
very possible. Let's see. Gosh, the tomatoes. Start IQ and dump Randall, and then I might believe you. Why would Brunson leave Luca? That's what I'm saying. You went to the freaking Western Conference Finals. He's not leaving, and Leon Rose is gonna
Yeah.
look stupid.
Why would he leave Frank?
Uh, I don't think I've read that already. Where was the one
No,
about?
I'm a fan of the Dallas. They got all the former Knicks I like.
Wait, player development question mark. Tibbs wants to win now.
Yeah,
This
that's the thing. I mean, the feed off the energy of the young, like that just sounds so. To me, okay, then let me bring up the young players who did bring the energy. Obi, Quickly, Grimes, those three guys I want to see grow. If that makes
Sims. What about
Sims,
Sims?
well, Sims deserves to be that backup big. Definitely, he cannot. If Noel is playing over Sims, that red flag.
Noel shouldn't even be back. He shouldn't even
Noel,
be back.
again, it's
Dude,
obviously
I hate to say it, MH. I hate to say it. The Burks contract, I thought that was flexible. When we brought back Noel, you defended his ass.
no. I
I,
defended. No,
I,
I still don't think that. Well, I thought it was movable. I'm dead ass. I still think it is movable, but they need to move it, or else it's a horrible contract. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it being. It is a bad contract. He never plays, and when he plays, he keeps on getting hurt. We saw it this season. He came back for a few games. He got hurt again, and I hate to see.
because
I hate to
I
see it.
remember because I never like to be right. Like, because I want what's best for the basketball team. I hate people that are like, when someone has a bad game, they're like, "Oh, I told you he's trash." Like, no, I hope these players develop and they're awesome. I hope Leon Rose has a plan and he proves us freaking wrong. But it's just an absolute
They
it's an
paid
absolute mess.
Noel.
And I understand that we brought back Noel Burks, like to make it seem like we pay our guys, we're loyal to our guys, but we can't be
They're better.
loyal. We can't be loyal to mid players that are just okay. Like
Exactly.
like it obviously
But
didn't work
again, I
out.
pitched that to Knicks fans. Would you be satisfied with the team if they started the season with Brunson and Quickly with Art? Like the defense still gonna not look that good, but you're gonna have some offensive power or at least some offensive threats around RJ. Would that at least will that at least make you somewhat? It'll be better than last season, I think. But
If we started quickly, it would be a little more exciting. But I know a lot of Knicks fans would still find a way to complain, be like, "Oh, he's
the
not at his
defense,
natural
exactly.
position."
They'll say the defense, but to me, you still like. I don't think again Quickly's capable. I just think when his shot is off, it's tough to really gauge his overall impact because when he's off, what else does he bring? He's not really a playmaker or hard. He has some nice passes, but I don't know. But I think you should give him that chance. I think to me, a big proponent this season is RJ's development, but also I want to see what Quickly. I want to see if Quickly has more than just being a bench piece. I want to see if he could be a starter. So
Yeah, and if you haven't already, smash that like button. Shane says, "Who'd you want at 11? Who was there that's better than what we got?" Well, I thought we liked AJ Griffin, but this is the problem. When it comes to other organizations, they're confident. Whoever they draft, they're like, okay, the organization's going to develop them. When it comes to us, like
they're not confident.
we want specific players. If we don't like get our player on draft night, we're just like lost. Like we're just
Exactly.
like,
Like
oh, this guy's
think
not going to
about it
develop.
when we drafted Frank. I mean, well, what was it? Frank and Knox. Both. I mean, I guess Knox was exactly what they were looking for, but clearly they went in a different direction when they got well, not just Thibodeau, but the second year of Knox's career. Like first season, I know he was inefficient. And I know he's not a good player. I know both of them aren't good players, but a team wouldn't just completely kill their confidence just because of one season. You know what I mean? Or they
Yeah,
don't
you
see the potential star in them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, Bella, at least, yeah, we could at least, if we are going to trade out of the spot, we could at least also got another first rounder this year. Because if we don't believe Burks is a part of the future, we get a depth piece that replaces him. Like the Knicks still need high upside type of talent. Like the reason when it came to my reaction video, I was even pissed when we took Jang because I knew he had high upside and Leon Rose needs to stop settling. Like at least we knew Jang had some upside to his game. Yes, there's a question if we would have even developed him, obviously, because he's extremely raw. But I don't know. You just can't trust this organization when it comes to development. Obviously, Leon Rose doesn't trust his staff and all that when it comes to development. If we completely didn't even make a pick in the first round, because the best organizations they just make it work.
I'm not gonna lie though, if we did keep Dang or Duran, the media would have found a reason to still hail on us. But I understand it's even more.
Not this bad. Not this bad.
You don't think so? Well, Dang, I
Not
think for sure. Not
they wouldn't have hated us like this situation. This is
well,
Knicks
not
fans
this
wouldn't be this
much,
upset.
but they definitely would have said, "Oh, dang, here's another French prospect." Or Duran, they would have been like, "Why they're trying to get a big man when they have Mr. Robinson?" Like, but
But
you
Sh-
get
but
what.
Shane, but Shane, I would be okay if that was the plan. I'm with you. I want to see what the young guys are, but we hear the reports that they're going after Brunson. So obviously, all those reports that the Knicks want to hold on to IQ, maybe they do start him at shooting guard. I honestly don't think that's going to go on to happen. I think Fournier's still going to start. But I feel like the development goes out the window because if you get Brunson, you're holding on to Randall. You're trying to win now. So I don't see the development happening with Obi. It's a waste. RJ, obviously he could still develop, but I
The
honestly
big
think
question, and with that statement, I do like those guys. Don't get me wrong, but this is the thing: Fournier is blocking both IQ's development and potentially Grimes. I mean, Grimes could be at the best just a bench piece, but Grimes was a third stringer last season. Do you not remember? Like he didn't play until like really in the middle of the season. Like it's tough because it's tough when one player gets like 30 minutes. You got the other player playing like 15 to 20. Like you have to share the minutes out, but the Knicks, I mean, with Thibodeau, he clearly doesn't share enough of it. So
yeah, and we don't have so much talent or at least high upside talent to the point that we shouldn't be drafting anyone at all. Like obviously we didn't even make it to the playoffs. Like we still need something.
exactly,
Um, like every player could, like the freaking Warriors. They didn't need anyone. They freaking still made a draft pick.
they still did.
Um, let's
Wait,
see.
who did they take, by the way?
Let's see. NBA Trade Report tweeted the primary focus for us is to get Brunson and trade for Murray as the secondary. I would literally have DeJounte Murray first over Brunson. That's just me though. Um,
What happens if both of those work out? And that should be crazy. That'll be fun because like yo, you both of your plans.
so we can't draft a player with the 11th pick. Well, yeah, it seems like we're not developing anyone. If we bring in Brunson, we're just winning now.
Yeah,
We're winning now,
it's
and
just
we're
yeah.
not in the position. We're not a Brunson away from a freaking championship. We're just competing to compete.
And this
Like,
is the thing, yeah. I think the move, yeah. I don't think they think championship yet, but they're trying. They think in their heads that okay, you have Brunson, you have Ars, you have Randall. Maybe they think if they get a big fourth piece, then they can have this. But thing is, who would be that fourth piece? And do you have enough cap space to bring a fourth player and next to those three players? I don't think so. And who would that player be? Like, even if it was like Beal, like let's say in Dreamland. they somehow find a way to swing all of these assets for like a Beal, and they get Brunson. So you have Brunson, Beal, RJ, Randall, and maybe you still have Miss, or maybe Miss is in the package, and you get some other big man. What's that
And
going to
we're,
do? Is that really going to be a championship team? I don't know.
and and Knicks fans, we're gonna get to see in a few years. Like we'll get to see how good the Knicks scouting is. We'll see if Leon's here in a few years. We'll get to see how good the Knicks scouting is. If Usman ends up being really good, let's say Jalen Williams ends up being really good, because obviously we didn't select anyone in the first round. If there's tons of steals in this draft, the Knicks did a terrible job scouting. If they really thought there was no one worth taking at all and
Besides
developing.
Ivy, yeah, besides Ivy, because clearly I think they were in on Ivy, but they really, I think that's the bad thing. They really just were eyeing in on Ivy and nobody else,
What
and they
about Davis? You don't think they like you saw Davis? You think they would have took Davis, or you think they still would have traded? If they traded with freaking Davis there, I would have lost my shit
But
even
this is the
more.
thing, like other teams, and this is the thing though, like maybe I value a player more than like because you have to think about the situation the player plays in. Maybe like I think Johnny Davis in Washington, I think he'll be a great role player there. But on the Knicks, he could have been a starter. Who knows? You know how it works in the NBA. Like you could be in a different role in a different team. And Davis was a high usage guy for the Sooners. So like I don't know. I don't know if they were could have been. I mean, I don't have inside sources, so I'm just spectating. But
This is the terrible thing with having Tom Thibodeau. You're so limited in the things you can do. Leon Rose obviously is the one controlling a lot of this stuff, but obviously he's getting like he's communicating with Tibbs because probably Tibbs was like, "Well, I didn't have much say when it came to the OB pick, so I don't know." Like we're blaming Leon, but a lot of this can go towards Tibbs. Tibbs might have a lot of hands on in this as well. But I don't see why Tibbs would want picks for the future though. I think this is a Leon thing personally. Um, let's see. I'm not trying to spend over. Oh yeah, what's going on, Carl? Yeah, last night was a disappointment. Carl, who did you want? I don't know how much you read into these prospects. I want to ask you guys in the chat since my guy Davis was gone and Daniels obviously was gone. I didn't see him being there. Matherin's my guy, but I didn't see him being there. We were stuck in a really weird position. Like if we were just up one pick at 10, like I would have been just one pick away from Davis. I thought he would have been a perfect Nick. Um,
you know, it's
I was
crazy to think if they had like,
oh
I think they have the seventh pick, they still would have done this, and that makes me kind of crazy if they had that. They had the seventh pick and they still did this.
dude, if the Knicks, you're a terrible organization. We'll wait and see. But you're a terrible organization if it's like, oh, we can't get this one player out of freaking 60 players in the draft. We can't get this one player. So we're gonna trade out and try to get freaking Brunson. And if that doesn't work out, like that's your freaking plan.
The
That's your
point
plan.
is, it's a very gambling plan. I think Leon, he's willing to run the gamble for Brunson, which is it's scary because you don't know if you're unless they have they must have an agreement. There has to be a handshake agreement. But with the Knicks, you know, there's no handshake agreements because do you remember the day that Katie left, people thought Katie was coming to the Knicks, and then they did the switch around. So who knows? Brunson may have a last minute decision, be like, you know what, I'm fine staying in Dallas, and then they'll still be a good team because I mean, it sounds like Dallas wants to make the room for Kevin Brunson. Like they're willing to, and that's why I thought people when they're saying because the Mavs took Zane Hardy, that not just them taking Zane Hardy doesn't change a thing to me. He's a second round pick, and I like Zane Hardy, but no, that doesn't change a thing. Like maybe it's a good backup plan to have. Like maybe they develop Zane Hardy into like what Brunson kind of was, but I think they're still going to try and keep him at with as much money that they can give him.
Think about it. With it, if we don't get Brunson, because I don't know who else we'd go after in free agency, freaking our move and this whole entire offseason will be getting Trevon Keels or Keel.
Trevon Fields, and he's not going to.
Trevon Keels. And he's not gonna play. Brunson's like 5'9". Brunson's like 5'9", the same height as my dad. Yeah, I did see that Alondas Williams went to the Nets actually. Um, some people wanted AJ Griffin, but someone said, "Oh yeah, Kai Soto wasn't drafted at all." I didn't see the hype with Kai Soto. Everyone was talking about him being picked 19th. The Knicks need to get this guy. I don't even know if he ended up being picked up by anyone. Kai
I don't know.
Soto.
I'm sure someone drafted guys, but yeah, I mean, this is the thing with draft. There are always guys we look at and think, oh, they fit in the NBA. Well, these scouts obviously do their homework. They see something that obviously we don't see, and they interview these guys too. Like I don't think. obviously we don't think the Knicks do a great job, but maybe they are doing a good. Like maybe they're doing their due diligence, but their plan is obviously it's more complex than maybe the other teams in the league because they want to look way like they're trying to look way toward the future, but still not really playing with the future, like playing the future players that should be playing. So it's definitely like it needs to be something Thibodeau and Leon have a conversation about. Like, okay, we saw like what we did at the end of last season, but you have to play these players, or else it won't, it won't stick. Like if you don't play those three specific players, and it's tough because I don't think Obi's going to get his shine as long as he's playing behind Randall. But if you don't have those, if you don't see Quickly or Grimes or RJ really take any steps, then it's kind of useless to not have anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shane loves every young guy. Respect to Shane. He says, I'd rather run with Deuce than pay Brunson.
That's crazy. I mean, I would love to try and develop Deuce, but I mean, the Knicks are not going to. So why even think about running with Deuce if he's not going to play? That's the thing I tell Knicks fans. Like, you can love your team as much as you want. We have to be real at some point because if they're not going to play, they're not going to play. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
you
What do you?
definitely. I feel like we're repeating ourselves. Like, I don't want to continue prolonging the whole. The Knicks know what they're trying to do something, but it's not what we see. It's definitely not what we see.
Yeah. What do you think about Shaden Sharp? Sharp has a lot of talent. He didn't play game of college basketball. Obviously, he's extremely talented. Um, we'll see what goes on to happen. Yeah, nice talking to you, MH. I don't know if you meant to drop out, but have a good one, man. Let's see. We should go hard for Murray or Shea. Shea, I don't think is realistic. DeJounte Murray's realistic, though, in my opinion. I think that could happen. Let's see. Yeah, Brunson's really he doesn't look 6 foot 6'1", but he is that high apparently. AJ Griffin Ty Ty, yeah, Ty Ty went to Memphis. And if you haven't already smashed the like button, I really appreciate y'all being here. We have 47 people in the chat. We have 30 likes. Let's see if we can get 40 likes, y'all. I really appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, I feel like we've been saying that for so many years though. Like the Knicks would be good with a quality point guard. Yeah, of course, Andrew. I'll drop the link in the chat. I'll drop the link. Copy. All right, there you go, man. I've been a Knicks fan since '92. Never seen anything like this. Hopefully everything works out, but I'm not gonna be a cheerleader and just pretend everything's gonna be okay. I know some Knicks fans, just because they're Knicks fans, they just think everything's gonna be all right. They just think everything we do is the right decision. Just my opinion, I don't think it was the best decision, especially if we strike out on Brunson. If we strike out on Brunson, we better play the young guys. No excuses. Leon better have some balls. Say to Tibbs, if you don't play the young guys, you're effing fired. I don't think we're getting Kyrie. I don't think we are. I personally don't. I don't see that happening. But I really appreciate you guys being here. Just hopefully everything works out. But I just want us to actually develop. Just for once, why can't we develop and play young guys? Like, why? Let me check Twitter if anything else is going on there. See if Ian Bagley said anything. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Kyrie. Someone responded on Twitter, not talking to the media is weak. This offseason better work out. And Bagley responded, agree with both of those thoughts. Calvin, especially the second one, I wouldn't be as bothered by the media silence if Leon hadn't done an interview with MSG Network and opted not to talk to beat reporters. I know a lot of people wouldn't be happy about that. Don't get me wrong, I don't like Westbrook, but he only has one more year left on his contract. But he would stump the development of RJ, I'm not gonna lie. But so does Randall, so yeah, I think it leaves like one more year left on it. Yeah, I think it leaves like
Yo,
one more year
Noah.
left on it. What's going on, man? How are you? Outside of the
Good, bro.
Knicks.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yo, Noah.
What's going on, man? How are you? Outside of the
Good, bro.
Knicks.
How are you? Wait,
Good.
1 second.
It's all good.
What's going on, man? How are you? Outside of the Knicks. How are you? Wait, 1 second.
It's all good.
Yo, can you
You
hear
just
me?
have Yeah, I think you just have the stream turned up.
Oh, 1 second. Can you hear me?
I think you could just exit out of the tab and you're good.
Oh, 1 second. Can you hear me?
I think you could just exit out of the tab and you're good. I'll bring you back on if you want. I think he had another tab open. That's why there was that echo. If he figures that out, like he exits out of the tab, the audio's all good. I'll bring him back on. Um, yeah, I'm a fan of Westbrook, how hard he plays. It's just he's one of those players that's up here, takes too many jump shots. He has to understand his limitations. Yo, what's going on? Shout out to Brazil. No, you're good, man. You can come back on. If you just figure all of that out, you can come back on, man. Because I think you just have the stream tab open. So if you just close the YouTube tab, you should be good. Because I'll read the chat for us and all that. Yeah, we need freaking all-star talent, man. We need all-star talent. I hope we're trying to trade the veterans. I kind of hope we don't get Brunson and we actually play the young guys. I'm okay with not drafting a player. Tibbs will not play or sentiment. See, that's the thing, though. We should have. That's what bad organizations do. They like draft players, don't utilize them, especially when we need high upside guys. That just shows Tibbs isn't the coach like for the Knicks. Like we need to develop young players and build a long, consistent winner. Like Tibbs isn't the guy. That just speaks volume right there. Tibbs will not player sent to the G League. I believe Knicks are going after DeJounte Murray from the Spurs. We have options and draft picks to make moves. Yeah, I heard about that. We're going after Murray. We'll see what goes on to happen. Yeah, it's the contract though, man. I don't think he's worth that much. I don't. I don't think he moves the needle like people think. He would be an upgrade over what we've had in the past. I wouldn't be completely mad at it. Yeah, but I knew we weren't getting Ivy. The Kings were too locked in on Keegan Murray. And if we were hesitant to give up quickly, like you shouldn't be hesitant to give up quickly, especially if you don't think Quickly's your starter or a star of the future, because obviously you're not very high on Quickly if you go out there and get Brunson. The Bucks will still be good though. The Bucks will still be good in 2025. We have to wait and see how things pan out after free agent signing period. I like the 2025 Milwaukee Bucks 1 through 4 protection. Giannis will be 31 by that time. Yeah, I don't see it. I think they'll still be good. Um, I like the optimism though. Optimism. How many likes we got? Let me see how many likes we got. We got 34 likes. Can we get 40 likes, y'all? Can we get 40 likes? Um, Yeah, I'm not holding out a lot of hope on a lot of our picks. They're heavily protected picks. The highest pick we can possibly get is the Wizards, and it could if it falls out of the top 14. Maybe they make the the playoffs maybe with Porzingis Beal. I doubt it though, so that may not even happen. Yeah, I'm just expecting Randall to be back at this point. You mean Anthony Simons from the Trailblazers? Yeah, I'm not sure like what his value is right now and how highly the Trailblazers think of him. But I'm thinking they would start Lillard, Simons. They have Grant. See if they bring back Nurkic. I'm interested to see what they look like. I do like Simons though. I do. I like him a lot. I'll answer like a few more questions or read a few more comments and then I'll head out. I appreciate you guys being here. Been live for nearly 2 hours. Yeah, once you thumbs down the crowd, you're done in New York, man. You're done. I'll try to so. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the Bucks. We'll see what happens. I'm not paying a guy 25 million that teams have never game planned for. Dude played with Luca his first few years. I'm not paying. Yeah, there's gonna be more of a load to create for himself as well. We don't have a lot of shot creators. I'm not paying him all that money yet. I don't know if he's worth it. I think Wall just opt. Is it only 1 year though? I know he just opted into a lot of money. Yeah, Jay. Sounds good, Andrew. But yeah, guys, I'm actually gonna head out. I've been live for nearly 2 hours. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys are absolutely amazing. I really appreciate the love and support. This channel would not be possible without you guys. Just hopefully whatever Leon does, we become better as a basketball team and we have a bright future and we move on from Burke, we move on from Noel. Even if we don't get Brunson, I hope we play the young players. But we have Tibbs here, so you never know. But I'm not sure. Maybe you have another tab open, but yeah, guys, have a great one. I really appreciate y'all. Peace out.